Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Not Your Average Joel. We are actually on episode 32 today. So far, as a season two is going great, I've been able to bring back many of my past guests, and I've also been able to bring new guests onto my channel this season. And before I tell you what this topic is about, I want to welcome back both of my guests. You have seen these two before. You have definitely seen Alex, I'm sure, if you've been watching from the very beginning of my journey with my podcasting. Alex has actually been on 4 episodes, and this will be his fifth time on here. He was on episode one, which was on bullying, and then he was on episode three, which we talked about. We played a little fun game. It was called like My First Blank. So like we talked about like what was your first pet, what was your first like experience on a plane. It was like fun little games like that. And then after that, he was then on episode eight with me and Tasha's good friend Caitlin, as well as a guy from school that I know named Dale. I almost said Daniel. Dell, and we talked about music, and then Alex and me had a one-on-one episode on episode nine where we talked about alcohol and like his journey with that from uh being someone that used to be, I guess, like used to have a lifestyle of alcohol, like alcoholism, and now as living a sober life. So if you haven't checked those out, definitely check those out, whether it's on YouTube or if you're listening to these episodes on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or anything like that. And then I also want to welcome back Tasha to my channel. This is her second time on here. Um, we did episode 29 together on marriage and relationships, which I know is going to be kind of ironic for people to think that we did an episode because neither of us are married and neither of us are in a relationship. But there was a good conversation regarding it. We had some really good talks about it and just like things to prepare for when it comes to a future boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, kind of thing. So definitely got a lot out of that. So definitely go check that episode out too. So once again, thank you both for being here, and I definitely look forward to this conversation.
Yeah,
So,
me too.
so today's topic is actually going to be a little bit more intense today. Right now I'm smiling, but it's only because I'm welcoming y'all. But here in a little bit, this is going to be a little bit more of a serious conversation. So this is an episode I've been wanting to do for a little while now. Now this is like the perfect time for all of us to come together to talk about this episode or this topic. And today's episode is actually going to be on mental health. So I know mental health is something that not everybody likes to talk about, not everybody likes to address this. But it is a struggle that many people go through. I'm sure definitely since Alex and Tasha both signed up for this, they have definitely have had experiences with mental health, and I've even had small, different experiences as well with mental health. So, I definitely look forward to hearing everybody's experience and just being able to be, brave to share these stories and these experiences. And, so Liz, I just hope that anybody that's listening to this or watching this, that you get something out of this episode, um, and that maybe we inspire you to check on your mental health daily, and or even if you are in a good place with your mental health, just keep reminding yourself, and trying to stay strong, and even like hearing these stories and just kind of applying that to your own life, looking back at your mental health journey and seeing how far you come. So we're all on a different journey when it comes to mental health. Some are farther than others. Everybody's going to have up and downs with mental health. So, but as of right now, I guess we're going to kind of talk about our past experiences with it and where we currently are with mental health. So, I'm actually going to go ahead and get into the first question, which really isn't a question. It's just more of just getting both of you to share your experiences that you've had when it comes to mental health, and kind of like what are some, I guess, like what are some things that can be challenging when it comes to your mental health journey. So, yeah, Leslie, yeah, so definitely, as I know that mental health is something that both of you have experienced with, and now that I've known both of y'all, like I said, I know there's a lot more that I would love to more and love to know more about both of y'all. So I thought this would be a good time to kind of open up, about these kind of serious conversations. So I'm gonna actually have Tasha go first and like kind of share with us her like testimony and like when it comes to mental health and some challenges that she has dealt with when it comes to mental health. So I'll let Tasha take the floor now.
All right. Basically, like my testimony is basically I grew up like in a Baptist type church. Like my grandmother, my mom, my I call her my Mimo, all basically like were you know worship like they believe Jesus is Lord and all this other stuff. But like I basically grew up like around them, like knowing like put Jesus first in your life, and then everything else will come after. But I guess my in my life where I first started dealing with mental health would be probably be in high school, when I would be like bullied in high school, like picked on because of the way I've looked, the way that I, approach things and everything, and it started like escalating more downward. Besides that, there's been several times in my life, which Joel, you don't even know this by now, but there's been several times in my life where I contemplated committing suicide because like I just felt like I was not important. Like life just really sucked while I was in high school. Um, I dealt with it like on a but just myself, and it just started. There was just several years of my life to where I was like on a downward spiral because of dealing with mental health. But most of all, I think the probably the worst case mental health that I'm dealing with now is like the death of my mother. Yeah, that's probably the you never know. Like she was sorry, you guys.
No, you're good. Yeah, definitely take your time.
My mother was my best friend, and ever since like she passed away, like my mental health has been up and down. Like there'll be some days where I'm okay, like I have a smile on my face, days is going good, like I have nothing to worry about, and then there's days like today, like I'm just down. But I go to therapy every 2 weeks now because of it.
Hmm. Yeah, I remember your mom definitely from back when we went to like the basement and all that. Your mom and your grandmother. Once I definitely remember, them being there, and they were all both, and you as well, of course, were also, friendly and showing that love of Jesus that needs to be out there in the world. And so I just remember always seeing your mom, and so I remember your mom would almost consider me and my friend Devin like, almost like we're like her kids basically. Like she treated everybody like, like they were her children basically. Like everybody called her Mama D, and I remember those good memories. And like I know, like I haven't personally lost a parent, but I've been like close to losing my mom. And like I said, me and my mom are really close. So I can definitely see how that can like mess with your mental health.
Yeah, it's tough. Like if anybody out there hasn't like truly experienced the loss of a parent, it's tough.
Yeah, honestly, I could definitely, listen, I just don't even like that's something that I almost like have a fear of in a way. It's like afraid to lose like a loved one that I was close to, in that way. And I mean, I have lost, like an aunt, I've lost like cousins and all that, but it wasn't a family member that I had like that big of a like closeness or a really close relationship with. So that is something like you definitely don't want to really go through. Unfortunately, it is something that one day it's something that we do have to prepare for, and it's very hard to take on because so 3 years ago I thought I was in your position. I thought I was going to be losing my mom at any second. They're at the hospital here in Birmingham at UAB, and I mean, I know for my situation, things turned out and had a different outcome, but like just even having that scare, like I said, it mentally and like emotionally like drained me that year. 2019 was a rough year for me. So I can, in a way, somewhat relate to that pain, even though my mom is still here. So honestly, I definitely, miss her definitely as well because she definitely was a amazing woman and we know that she's up there, with Jesus. So that's a good reassurance.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But
All right.
sorry, I don't know if I interrupted you, but do you have anything else to say regarding
No.
that? Okay. Well, I'll kind of let Alex, take the floor regarding this as well, like some kind of like his mental health journey and like some maybe challenges that he's had as well.
Um, yeah. So I kind of been through the ringer when it comes to mental health and diagnosis.